Hi, turn to the Eastern Lands as we explore below topics and more. U.S.-Taiwan officials discuss trade plan meeting in coming weeks. U.S. to donate 500 million virus vaccine to more than 90 countries. House Democrats urge Representative Omar to clarify statement on U.S.-Hamas Israel. Memo from Pollster finds many Democratic voters unsure about what party stands for. Illinois police workforce crisis exacerbated by criminal justice overhaul. Welcome back to the Eastern Lands. I'm your host Katherine Dang. We'll be posting exclusive episodes daily you can only find in the Eastern Lands. So we invite you to like and subscribe. And let's start today by talking about U.S.-Taiwan officials discuss trade plan meeting in coming weeks. United States Trade Representative Katherine Dang discussed trade and investment issues with Taiwan Minister Katherine Dang on June 10 and agreed to convene a meeting of the country's Trade and Investment Framework Agreement Council in coming weeks, Dang's office said in a statement. Ambassador Dang emphasized the importance of the U.S.-Taiwan trade and investment relationship and explained the Biden-Harris administration's worker-centered trade priorities. United States Trade Representative said Taiwan has been cautiously optimistic about resuming stalled high-level trade talks with Washington this year after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken signaled a possible resumption on Monday. The Biden administration has moved to reaffirm its strong commitment to the Chinese-claimed democratically governed island in the face of pressure from Beijing to try and assert its sovereignty. Taiwan has long angered for a free trade deal with the United States, but trade and investment talks between the two have been stalled since the Obama administration. A senior officer at Taiwan's Economy Ministry told Reuters they hope to resume the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement (TIFA) talks this year. And now let's move on to another topic. U.S. to donate 500 million virus vaccines to more than 90 countries. The White House announced Thursday that the United States will purchase 500 million virus vaccines from Pfizer-BioNTech and donate them to more than 90 countries. The donation will be aimed at 92 low and lower middle income countries in the 55 member states of the African Union. The administration said the goal of the donation is to save lives and end the pandemic and will provide the foundation for additional actions to be announced in the coming days. It marks the largest ever purchase and donation of vaccines by the single country, according to the White House. And the third news we're going to discuss about. House Democrats urge Representative Omar to clarify statement on U.S.-Hamas Israel. A group of House Democrats late Wednesday urged Representative Omar to make clear what she meant when she equated the United States and Israel to the terrorist group Hamas. Equating the United States and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban is an offensive as it is misguided, ignoring the differences between democracy governed by the rule of law and contemptible organizations that engage in terrorism at best discredit one's intended argument and at worst reflects deep-seated prejudice. The group, including Representative Brad Snyder, said in a joint statement. The United States and Israel are imperfect and, like all democracies, at times deserving of critique, but false equivalencies give cover to terrorist groups. We urge Congresswoman Omar to clarify her words, placing the U.S. and Israel in the same category as Hamas and the Taliban. Omar earlier this week shared footage of her questioning of Secretary of State Antony Blinken during a congressional hearing. She had asked Blinken about how alleged victims of crimes could get justice if the International Criminal Court (ICC) was not involved. The statement that drew ire from fellow House Democrats was posted on Twitter. In sharing the footage, Omar wrote, "We must have the same level of accountability and justice for all victims of crimes against humanity. We have seen unthinkable atrocities committed by the U.S., Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban." And next, we're going to talk about Memo from Pollster finds many Democratic voters unsure about what party stands for. Focus groups conducted by a Democratic pollster recently found that many voters have trouble describing a clear positive vision of what the Democratic Party stands for. Like research partners, a Democratic polling and political strategy research firm found that most new Democratic voters voted against former President Donald Trump and Republicans rather than for Democrats. Voters are not hearing enough about what Democrats have accomplished, what they are fighting to accomplish, and how they are standing up for voters' values and priority. Without Trump on the ballot as a clear villain or stronger definition as the party, Democrats are at risk of losing some of these new voters in 2022. According to a key finding in the document, which was addressed to the Congressional Progressive Caucus, PAC. The memo, first obtained by NBC News, summarized what like research partners found from having conducted focus groups of swing voters, those who do not vote consistently for any political party, and surge voters, those who need motivation to vote, in 13 swing districts across the United States that were won by both Democrats and Republicans in 2020. The findings are to be released at the Progressive Caucus meeting in June 15, according to the outlet. Finally, we're going to talk about Illinois police workforce crisis exacerbated by criminal justice overhaul. Since Illinois lawmakers passed a major criminal justice reform bill in January, 5 Illinois sheriffs have retired early and 6 sheriffs are set to retire this summer, according to Illinois Sheriff Association, ISA Executive Director Jim Kaschuk. Kaschuk told the Epoch Times, "This is the most I've seen that quitting as a direct result of the legislation. In a typical year, only 1 or 2 sheriffs would quit before serving their full terms, according to Kaschuk. On top of the early retirements, over 20 Illinois sheriffs have decided not to seek re-election when the term ends. The recently enacted Safety Act made sweeping changes to the Illinois criminal justice system, including abolishing cash bail in 2 years, creating a statewide certification program for police officers, mandating body cameras for all Illinois officers by 2025, and allowing anonymous complaints against police officers. Governor J.B. Pritzker hailed the Safety Act as ensuring true safety, true fairness, and true justice. But 5 major Illinois law enforcement organizations, including ISA, derided it as a monster bill that punishes police officers for doing their jobs and allows criminals to run free." And that's all for today, my friends. What do you think? Let me know below. If you like what you heard, don't forget to share it with at least one of your friends, because everyone deserves to know the truth. Thanks for tuning into the Excellence. I'm Katherine Dang, and see you next time.